Hey everybody, hope you're doing good. As you know, I'm working on the next country episodes, which means this is a filler week. Oh, and speaking of which, this episode is brought to you by Sykes' Glasses. If you're like me and you're sitting in front of a monitor all day because you gotta work on stuff, sometimes you need to protect your eyes. They help block out all those light rays that strain your eyes. You can actually get these promoted glasses, the black frame ones, for 20% off if you go to Sykes.com and use the promo code GEOGRAPHY. Thank you, Sykes. Moving on. As you know, usually for filler week, we do administrative divisional videos. And as you know, Patreon patrons get to vote on the next country. The rule is we switch up the continents. Last time we did Ethiopia with Africa. This time you guys voted. The winner is Argentina. Everybody in the Latin world has an opinion about Argentina. And it's, yeah, they're kind of like the black sheep. But for what it's worth, they do kind of have some accolades under their belt. They have a high degree of English fluency taught in elementary school. About 43% claim to speak it. Like this guy, Geography Martin from Argentina. He lives in Los Angeles. Introduce yourself, Martin.
Hi, my name is Martin. I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm here to try to help understand a little bit of how eclectic Argentina is.
What is that, by the way?
This is just to be part of the stereotype of mate.
You can't get more Argentinian than that. Also, I asked a lot of you guys, the Argentinian geography peeps, if you would like to be in this video explaining about your own provinces. So throughout this video, you'll be meeting more Argentinians. Woohoo! And alright, so here's the breakdown.
So Argentina has 23 provinces, 1 autonomous city, 1 Antarctic claim, and 2 disputed areas.
These provinces are grouped into 7 geographic regions with their own landscapes and culture. They are the Northwest,
Gran Chaco,
the Mesopotamia,
and the Pampa,
Patagonia,
Cuyo.
Oh, you guys also pronounce the Y like a J
Yeah.
sound. The Mexicans do that too. They're like, do you want to try this yogurt, Holmes? I don't know yet.
And the claimed Antarctica territory,
Which doesn't exactly fall within the direct sovereignty. That being said, let's just jump into it. Ciudad de Buenos Aires.
it means good air.
So what's the nickname for people from Buenos Aires?
Oh, we are called porteños. So the capital of the city of the country, which it holds the status of an autonomous city, it has all the government buildings.
Hey, my name is Laura and I'm from Buenos Aires City. Buenos Aires City has a lot of diversity, a lot of races, religions, and backgrounds. We speak really loud and we gesture a lot. Argentina, and especially Buenos Aires City, has long nights. Bars, parties, and nightclubs last until 7 or 8 a.m. This is because we eat dinner really late comparing other countries. We usually eat dinner at 9:30 or 10 p.m.
So, Martin, a lot of people in the Latin world, they understand Argentina has like an accent, but it mostly comes from Buenos Aires, right?
Yes, we do have an accent and people know us for that. Yeah, so there's a lot of the sha, sherba, plasha, che.
Like the double L?
Yeah,
Like AA?
exactly, or the Y.
So would they say like me llamo?
Me llamo, some people would say like that. Okay, so yeah, the city is more, we like to say it's more European in its cosmopolitan structure. Well, the city is known for its sports. It's really big on polo, really good in football, and we have a national sport called pato.
Otherwise, Pope Francis was born here. What else? The tango. There's a lot of cool places. Plaza Mayo, Tortoni Cafe, the Boca and Caminito Barrio or something like that. All right, let's move on. The province of Buenos Aires. So yes, there is a difference. If you look at the map, a lot of the metropolitan area of Buenos Aires is actually part of the province, not the city.
La Plata, its nickname is the city of diagonals because it was diagrammed and it has lots of diagonals.
And here's some of you guys talking about the province.
We have the mostly populated area, the most densely populated area in the whole country.
You will find that each city and town holds their own festival. For example, in the city of Tandil, there is a festival where they make the longest salami in the world.
It's the most industrialized province in the country. World famous Argentina meat is produced a lot. Also, Maradona is from Buenos Aires.
In addition, tourism is another big source of income, with Mar del Plata being a huge summer destination.
Thank you guys.
The beaches are... okay, they're really... I cannot say.
The beaches are okay. Otherwise, this is where you find a lot of the gaucho culture. You know, the Argentine cowboys, and you'll see a lot of horses here and stuff like that.
Summary, horse riding, mate drinking, asado grilling, gauchos.
Moving on, Catamarca.
Okay, so locked in the Andes, 80% of this province is just mountains in the semi-arid region, and most people live in the valleys.
Now, this province actually has the smallest economy out of all the provinces of Argentina, and it's known for its mining sector.
Yeah, they have one of the largest copper and gold mines in the world. It's called Bajo de la Lumbrera.
They also have the remains of the petroglyphs of the Pucara civilization, right?
Yes, Pucara.
Yeah, okay.
And they have one of the most real eroded rock sites, the Campo de Piedra Pómez.
They also have the Fiesta del Poncho, the Fiesta Virgen del Valle. Anything that comes to mind when you think of Catamarca?
No.
Moving on, the Chaco. Hey, Martina, what are some things you think about with Chaco?
So this is a tropical, hard-to-reach foresty area. It's like, yeah, our Argentinian Amazon.
And here's Lucia explaining a little bit.
It's really hot and humid all year round. We are the national capital of sculptures. Resistencia, the capital, it's the second city of the world after Florence, Italy, that has the highest density of sculptures per habitant. We have more than 600 of them, and they are all over the city. A cool thing about Chaco, it's a place that it's not like nobody knows about it, but it's really underrated, and it's called Campo del Cielo in Gancedo. And there's also a building that it's a museum, and it's pretty interactive. So it's a really nice place to pay a visit.
Thank you. Yeah, this is basically the spot that Argentina got after the Triple Alliance War with Paraguay.
And it's actually one of the few places with active indigenous communities. They are the Toba and the Huichi. And this is the cotton province. They provide about 60% of the nation's production.
Cotton. All right, moving on. Chubut, in the middle of Patagonia, where you really start to see like the gruff, semi-arid south part of Argentina. Here's Nazareno, geography, explaining a little bit.
So, what's Chubut all about? I'd say nature. For example, we have penguins in Punta Tombo. Also, we have whales in Peninsula Valdez. Culturally, as the people, we have a thicker skin than most of the people in the country, mainly because of living in such a hostile environment. Some serious wind, like some of the hardest, fastest winds in the world. Food, land. We love land. However, the highlight would be the Welsh colonies that came in the mid-1800s.
Thank you. Very famous also for these places. I'm not Welsh and I can't pronounce Welsh words, but here's my buddy Duncan from Wales to help out with the pronunciation.
Hey, shwmai Paul, ti'n iawn? Right, rydych chi'n dweud e fel hyn, y wladfa and y wladychfa Gymraeg. Hwyl fawr!
Thank you.
Today, I mean, only about 10% still speak Welsh, but many of them keep the traditions alive. And you can find some Welsh-style tea houses and churches.
Right, moving on, Cordoba.
So Cordoba, beautiful city, biggest rival from Buenos Aires. We love Cordoba people because they're extremely good at telling jokes. Like their jokes can last for 10 minutes, and it's not about the punchline, it's about telling the joke. Yeah.
They also have the first Argentinian university. They also have the Lago de Mar Chiquita, the famous Andretic Salt Lake. Is it the largest lake in... Yeah, it's the largest lake in Argentina, right? Fact check.
They are really known for one typical style of them, music style called the cuarteto music, which is like kind of like cumbia.
And explain Fernet.
Well, Fernet is a whole thing. That's an Italian drink that the Cordoba people mix with Coke, and they drink lots of quantities of it.
They love their Fernet. Yeah. A lot of cool places to see there. The Cordoba Gateway, the Capuchinos Church, the Cañada Stream.
So they have a beautiful place called Villa General Belgrano. A lot of German immigration. They have the third biggest beer festival in the world.
Oh, wow. And also, they have like a particular accent, don't they?
They do have a particular accent.
Explain.
They will hate me for imitating them, but I will do my best, which is like, just like Cordobes, they sing like that.
It's up and down.
Cordobes. Yeah.
Moving on, Corrientes.
So Corrientes, this is like the heavily Paraguayan influenced people of Argentina. So Guarani is an official language.
Huge biodiversity here, lots of animals.
And as most of it is a flat plain that leads to the Ibera wetlands and swamp.
Yeah, that place, the Esteros del Ibera, is one of the largest sources of fresh water in all of Latin America. So what else are they known for?
Okay, so they're known for the chamamés and the peñas, which are like gatherings in which people just dance and play guitar and drink wine. And
who is Gauchito Gil?
Oh, that's a whole thing, the Gauchito Gil. That's like a heroic gaucho. They consider it a saint. Of course, the church does not, but it's like a big saint there.
He's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, look it up. Moving on, Entre Rios.
So yeah, Entre Rios means between rivers.
So it's basically like Corrientes, but more urbanized and even flatter and swampier, as like it's in the river delta. It's like, and there's a lot of fishing here, lots of rivers.
Wetlands are really important here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Palmares de Colón palm forest looks really, really cool. So they have a carnival called the Carnival of Gualeguaychú, which is one of the most beautiful festivals.
Formosa. Here's geography Rachel explaining.
The name Formosa comes from the ancient Spanish word fermosa, which means beautiful. So Formosa, amongst Argentinians, is kind of known for being like mini Paraguay. It's because it's located very closely to the Paraguayan border. And they're known for being the hottest province in Argentina, as summer temperatures can sometimes reach 50 degrees. And they're also known for drinking a lot of tereré. They also eat a lot of Paraguayan foods. You can find sopa paraguaya and you can find chipas everywhere in the city. And something fun that a lot of people might not know about Formosa is that parts of the province actually have an antipode with Taiwan, which used to actually be called Formosa back in the days.
Thank you.
It's also famous for the two Pilcomayo National Parks.
It has fuzzy moss-covered swamplands that look like a Dr. Seuss setting. Apparently the word for it is the xerophytic forest. Okay, cool. Yeah. Next one. Jujuy. Woohoo. All right. It's the northernmost province, shaped like a shoe.
Yeah, llamas, alpacas, lots of Andean culture here, similar to Bolivia. So there's lots of indigenous people found here too.
Here's Geography Gabriel talking a little bit more about it.
So my province is known for its natural landscape. For example, the Cerro de los Siete Colores, which is a UNESCO heritage. Also the Salinas Grandes, which is shared with the province of Salta. I think my province is unique for its culture, especially the festivals. For example, the Fiesta de los Estudiantes, which is translated as the Students' Festival. Also the Pachamama and also the Carnaval. It's very popular here, especially in the north.
Thank you. What
Tamales,
else?
yeah, tamales. I mean, tamales are huge here, and that's like the influence from Bolivia.
And we'll talk more about tamales later in another province. But in the meantime, La Pampa, the land of wind and ghosts. Not many people know about this place.
Yeah, I actually have just one friend who went there, and she just came back angry.
So, no joke, I actually tried to look up fun things to do in La Pampa, and some of my research led me to a page that said, take a bus to Buenos Aires for a city tour. Here's Tanya explaining a little bit.
I know we're known in Argentina as the ghost province, but we do have a lot of things. So we do have the best sunsets, though. Famous people from here is Pampita Wine. We have a lot of gaucho culture. Like we have rodeos with horses. I would say that the most famous internationally thing we have in La Pampa are the hunting reserves to hunt red deer and wild boar. We have a very known tree. It's called Calden, and we are very, very proud of it. In the south of the province, we have the Mennonite colony, and yeah, that's it. We don't really have much more things.
Thank you, Tanya. For lack of a better, it's like the North Dakota of Argentina. I mean, it's like kind of flat and unknown, but they got some stuff going on. So yeah. Next one.
La Rioja.
La Rioja. Now the R is making a J sound. Okay.
Yeah, it depends on where you are.
It's located in the Cuyo, the dry side of the Andes Mountains.
Yeah, this place has a lot of political backstory. As the Menem family which were Syrian immigrants, they played a huge role here.
Yeah, long story short, there was like a conflict between them and the ruling Patronus party in the 80s, blah, blah, blah. The eldest son eventually became the president.
So it's noted for its dry, rocky red soil landscapes like the ones at the most famous site, the Talampaya National Park.
Canyons and over 10,000-year-old petroglyphs.
And they had a dinosaur. It's called Riojasaurus or Shiojasaurus.
What? They have their own dinosaur.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Mendoza. So I was told some of the people here kind of speak a little bit in an accent that's similar to Chile's, but they will absolutely hate you if you say that. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. But like the funny thing is they cross the border into Chile and they still go to the beaches of Chile. Anyway.
So Mendoza is really well known for its wine. It's like we're really proud of the wine, especially the one down in Mendoza. They produce somewhat around 70% of the entire country's wine. Most famous grape here is called Malbec. It grows especially well at this latitude, at latitude 33 parallel.
Argentinians are proud of their wine. This is one of the reasons why they're the 5th largest economy out of all the provinces. And in addition, Aconcagua is found here. Long story short, the wine area of Argentina. Moving on. Misiones.
It's located in the Mesopotamia region. This humid subtropical panhandle is a green thumb of Argentina.
Like, literally, you could see it like the border from space. Like, it sticks out like a green thumb.
So this is the place to talk about when it comes to yerba mate, as this general area includes parts of Brazil and Paraguay, where yerba mate was originated.
They even have a festival devoted to it called the Fiestas de Yerba Mate y el Té. And of course, here you can find the famous Iguazu Falls. Also, historically, there's a place where a lot of the Jesuit missions were started, henceforth why the name is called Misiones. Yeah, and they even have the ruins of 4 of some of the oldest Jesuit mission sites in Argentina, which are UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
Yeah, there's a great movie about it called La Misión, The Mission, with Robert De Niro and Liam Neeson and Jeremy Irons.
That's how you drink it. Barely even any water. It's like you're just drinking the...
I mean, you have to pour water every time you drink.
Neuquén, by the way, is a palindrome.
Okay, so this is the northernmost part of what is considered the Patagonia.
And here is Geography explaining a little more.
Neuquén is known in the country for having such a beautiful landscape. We have many lakes. We have many volcanoes like the La Nina and Copahue. And we have many ski resorts. In a cultural way, we have many festivals like El Chivito, the festival of the Confluencia in the capital. One of the typical foods of the area is the piñón. You can eat it alone after boiling it. We are known for producing a bunch of oil right in the center of the province and for producing electricity by hydroelectrical plants. Most of the people don't know that there was a kingdom called the Kingdom of the Araucanía and the Patagonia.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was also kind of known historically as a hiding spot for a lot of controversial people during war times.
Rio Negro.
So yeah, this is the beginning of the Patagonia, South America's cold desert or semi-arid region, to be more precise.
Yeah, this is also the beginning of the Mapuche territory, one of the largest indigenous groups.
So here you either have three options of sightseeing.
The Andes, with ice-capped peaks and the glistening Lake Nahuelhuapi.
Yeah, then you have the own version of the Loch Ness Monster in the Nahuelhuapi called the Nahuelito.
Latin American Loch Ness Monster.
Bariloche. So beautiful Bariloche is even sister cities with Aspen and St. Moritz, and they make a lot of chocolate there.
Kind of like Switzerland. Or if you're feeling really adventurous, the wide open uninhabited interior of the North Patagonian Massif, pocketed with one of the highest concentrations of desert lakes on Earth. How you feeling, man? Having fun?
Good.
Enjoying
I'm having fun.
this episode, explaining your country? I feel like I'm making my people proud. Moving on. Salta.
Okay, so some people say Salta is one of the most beautiful cities in Argentina with intact colonial buildings.
Oh, and explain the fight they have going on with Tucuman.
Well, there's a big fight between who has the best empanada, which is a food there. It's empanadas from Salta, they have like potatoes inside. They taste great. Okay, and there's a lot of Andean influence like you'll see in Bolivia. Yeah, they celebrate the Fiesta del Torrontés de Cafayates.
Anything else that comes to mind when you think of Salta?
Music is really good there. Folkloric music is extremely good. You have lots of musicians there which are really, really, really good.
San Juan. Mining.
As well as olive oil. So they have a place called El Valle de la Luna. It's a huge area that looks like the moon and it has like a famous fossils exhibit.
Fossils, alright. They're also famous for the legend of Difunta Correa. It's a big deal. It's like she's almost like revered like a patron saint.
Yeah, I have the Fiesta del Sol too, San Cayetano.
Some people say these are like some of the nicest people in Argentina. I don't know, what would you think?
I think they're nice enough.
San Luis. This is like kind of like the weird province in the middle of Argentina. They got their own thing going on.
Yeah, they have a place called Merlo, which is beautiful place. It has like a microclimate.
They also have a lot of salt flats, like the Lago Pampa de Salinas.
Well, there's free Wi-Fi in the whole province. That's not common for the rest of Argentina. So yeah, the government was passed between two brothers, the Rodriguez Sá brothers.
And they're very interesting people, right? Like
they are.
They're kind of like really into UFO stuff and like weird esoteric artwork on the highways.
So they have so there's a building in Buenos Aires called the Cabildo, one of our main buildings, and they have a replica here in the middle of nowhere.
Like it's in the... Oh, and also didn't they want to like break apart and make their own country?
Well, they did. Yeah.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They wanted to become themselves. It's just
Santa Cruz.
This is like the deep south Patagonia, sparsely populated, and the furthest place south that you can reach by road connected to the main body of the country.
Yeah, you start getting more snow and ice here, even glaciers like the Glaciar Perito Moreno, and also you can see the really cool Mount Fitzroy.
Yeah, they have massive blue lakes, like for example the Lago Argentino, which is beautiful and just goes into the Santa Cruz River, goes all the way into the Atlantic Ocean.
From the glacier to the ocean. There's also the Tehuelches indigenous group that are here, and you can find lots of ancient cave paintings like the La Cueva de las Manos, Santa Fe. And here's geography Facundo explaining a little bit more.
Its largest city, Rosario, it's often called the flag's cradle since the national flag was created here. The first national constitution, a federalist constitution, was signed here in 1853. Santa Fe is the subnational division with the highest percentage of Italian diaspora, not only in Argentina, but also in the Americas. I would say our province is famous for its alfajores, which are a glazed milk caramel treat. Some of the most famous Argentinians have come from Santa Fe. For instance, football legend Lionel Messi.
Thank you. What else they got going on?
They have something called Encuentro de Colectividades, which is like a gathering of people all over the world that live there.
Santiago del Estero.
So yeah, so the capital was the first established city in the territory that is now Argentina. That's why it's called the Madre de las Ciudades, Mother of Cities.
And about 100,000 Quechua speakers live here, making it the southernmost area of the languages of the Incans.
Try to join the fight with empanadas with Tucuman and Salta, but they have grapes.
They have grapes in their empanada. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, folkloric music is really good here. Really good. They have one style called samba, and one of the instruments we use in folklore is like called bombo legüero. And there's one thing called marcha de los bombos, in which we have a marcha.
Yeah, you're the music guy. By the way, Martin, he does music.
I do music.
Tierra del Fuego, the end of the world, door to Antarctica, the southernmost and least populous of all the provinces. It is not possible to drive here, as it is an island shared with Chile on the 68th longitude line, which which means at the narrowest, it's only about 2 kilometers wide from the Atlantic coast.
Great. It has a channel there called the Canal de Beagle, in which a lot of the cruises start there. So people that go to the Antarctica in the summer, they start from there. Yeah, so there's Centolla here, which is like a spider king crab, which is really popular here, and it's so tasty.
So they actually imported some beavers, and now they kind of have like a feral beaver problem. Like beavers are kind of destroying the place. And finally, Tucuman.
So here the independence was born in 1816.
Yeah, it's the smallest province in size too.
But it is a huge producer of citrus, like lemons and oranges.
Here's Geography Lisandro explaining a little bit.
In Tucuman, it's all about the empanadas, okay? If you say Tucuman here in Buenos Aires, everybody will say empanadas, the best empanadas. And another thing we're known for is Palito Ortega. He was a singer and he was a governor. So he's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of Argentina because he was a pop star and then he became a governor. And then you have Gladys La Bomba Tucumana, who made La Pollera Amarilla, that was a pop hit in the 90s.
Oh, and they also have their own little accent. Here's Lisandro explaining a little more.
In Tucuman, we don't say vamos for come on. We say meta. And we don't say chico for boy. We say chango. So if you want to say come on boy, we say meta chango.
Thank you, Lisandro.
Okay, so they have a huge cathedral here called Nuestra Señora de la Merced.
They like rugby here too, I think, right? Yeah. It's more
well, there's a lot of rugby in Argentina, but Tucuman is really good. And what's really important here is the sándwich de milanesa. Sandwich of milanesa. They even have a monument for the sándwich of milanesa.
They have a monument to a sandwich. They love it here. And speaking of monuments, they have the world's worst sculpture of Messi. If anything, come here to see just that. So those are all of the provinces. Now there's a few other things we gotta add.
Yeah, we have first the Antarctic territory. Pretty much the entire peninsula and the islands around it.
Today they have 6 permanent stations with 230 residents, including 9 families with 16 children. So there's actually families growing up here in Antarctica. And probably the most well-known base, Esperanza Base, where this guy was the first human known born in Antarctica. Yeah. Argentina's like really trying to hold on to their claim because it's like they're having people born here. Families raised in the ice.
We care about Antarctica.
And finally, the disputed Falkland Malvinas Islands, whatever side you're on, whatever you'll call it. It's a very touchy subject. Yeah. What do you want to say about that?
There's nothing to say. Yeah, it is a touchy subject, but the relationship with British actually is great. When Argentinians meet British people, for some reason we just click.
Oh, and we forgot one last province, Uruguay. That was a joke.
Oh, I love Uruguay.
Yeah.
But they do not like us that much. But now, even though we are really proud people and we think we have the best asado in the world, best mate, I have to admit, Uruguayan meat, I have to say it's even better than ours.
Oh! Any Uruguayans there? Comment, say anything you want. This is your moment too.
No,
yeah.
That's true.
No, we love Uruguay. So there you go, the provinces and disputed areas of Argentina. Anything last minute stuff you just want to say to the world out there about Argentina, Martin? What do you want the world to know?
So, yeah, a lot of people will think that we are just cocky people, just going with our chest up, just talking loud, and it's true.
And it's true.